Guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please go ahead and subscribe because I promise once you get to know me, you're gonna love me. But if you are already a subscriber, if you've already been rocking with me, welcome back. So good to be back in the company of friends. So the reason I am here today is I wanted to talk about my experience with the PlayStation backbone and the Nintendo Switch. If you've seen any of my other videos, you already know I am absolutely in love with the Nintendo Switch. I have the OLED model and no complaints. It is probably one of my top 10 favorite things in life, aside from family and, all the gushy stuff. The reason I got my hands on the PlayStation backbone is because I actually got it from my husband. Now, this is the part where I'm going to talk a little bit quieter because the reason I got him the PlayStation backbone is he's a gamer and he likes the Switch, but I don't think he likes it enough to go out and invest in one of his own. He's very much one of those people like, yeah, we can share. And he likes to share all of his stuff with me. And I kind of like to share. I'm a little bit more territorial. I am an Aries. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but let me give you an example. Growing up, I've always been a little bit of a nerd. I was always really deep into either gaming or computing. And I remember I would have friends and family members come over and they know that I would have my computer set up exactly how I want it. And they would be like, Venetia, let me play on your computer. And no, absolutely not. It's called a personal computer for a reason. It's mine. I'm not. Yeah. So anyway, look, don't judge me if you can relate, though. Drop it down in the comments. I want to hear if you're the same way, if you're a little bit territorial about your things. No shade to my husband. I actually love that he's so caring and sharing. Anyway, so I got him the backbone because I felt like he would not use the Nintendo Switch enough. He just likes things like this for occasional use. The PlayStation 5 and even the PlayStation 4, those are his daily drivers. So I said, you know what? We're going to pick him up the backbone. The first observations, because this video is not going to be specced out. You can go somewhere else if you want all of the nitty gritty details. I'm going to just pretty much tell you about use case. First thing that I noticed when my husband tried to set it up for himself is, you know how you can kind of forget you have a case on your phone? Even when I said, look, let me see it, I think I can fix it. It took me a minute to realize that's why it wasn't connecting for him, is because he had a pretty slim, it was a pretty sturdy black case and it kind of blended in. So it took a few minutes, but I was like, oh, duh, you have a case on your phone. And we did have to remove his case in order for the backbone to work. And I did get the version that is for USB-C, and I was under the impression that this version you could use with the case. Now, I know if you have a super big case, it's not going to work like that anyway. You're still going to need to take the case off, but he definitely has to take the case off to use it. And maybe for some people that kind of defeats the purpose for it being so easy to use. Once we got past that, again, it wasn't difficult, but I did feel that in my experience, the Switch was easier to get set up. He's had this for about a week and a half now, and I've yet to see him consistently just sit down and play with the backbone. I've honestly seen him play with the Switch more than he has the backbone. Now for me, because I did also go ahead and set up the backbone for myself. My husband has Android devices, I have Apple, and I will say I was easily able to connect my iPhone 16 with the case on. So big plus for being able to set it up. I must admit, I like how it feels in my hands as far as the ergonomics, okay? I do feel that when it comes down to travel, I just feel like it's practically gonna be indestructible. You can probably toss this in your bag and when you're ready to use it, plug and play. When I sat down and downloaded the software, I felt like I was kind of going on a journey. And I'm, pretty technical. It doesn't bother me, but it was like download the Backbone app. Okay, you get that set up. They ask you if you want the $40 a year membership. No big deal. That's pretty common. Get through all of that and you select a game because it says view all games. You select a game. And then I said, okay, I'm going to play Sonic the Hedgehog. How painful could that be? But then it takes me to another app to download. That app wants me to pay for it or use the free version with ads. And of course, I don't know that I'm going to be ready to commit to this. So I play the free version with ads. And I feel like it just kind of took the fun out of it. Because every time I would get started, and yeah, the ads didn't interrupt you in the middle of gameplay, but as you were going to another stage and this and that, it just became a little bit annoying. And that's not a frustration with the Backbone itself, but rather the setup, the software, and everything behind playing via this method. Again, nothing wrong with it, but just some things that I observed. I do believe that there are games and there's going to be ways to have a much better experience. And I'm going to admit, maybe I'm already biased because I love the Switch so much. I did want to give the Backbone a chance. And I do believe that there is a very much a use case for the Backbone. If you are more price conscious, if you are probably wanting to use it less, there's many use cases in which the Backbone is going to be an excellent choice for somebody. Me personally, I'm still going to prefer this Switch. Even down to the build quality, again, great build quality, but I just like how this one feels even a little bit better. And I'm not just saying this because this is the OLED version. I was with my nephew recently and he has the Switch Lite and his is so beat up. Typical 11-year-old. There are buttons broken, like used down to the core, where you didn't already know, you wouldn't know what button it is because it's rubbed off and everything. That kid has taken his Switch Lite through the ringer and it still works. The screen is still, in really good condition. He's just been playing the hell out of that thing. And even that light version, it just feels like a little bit of a more quality unit. And I know what you guys are probably going to say, Venetia, this is just kind of a shell of a thing, but this right here, it just feels a little different. And I'm sure it's supposed to do that. Look at the price point. Look at, use case. You can just probably toss this in a bag, even though they do have cases for it, but you can probably toss this in your bag and don't even have to worry about it. My OLED, I'm not just tossing it in a bag. So, would I recommend the PlayStation Backbone? I would if that's what's in your budget. I would if you are not sure how often you're going to be using it. I would if you have most of your games on a phone already, or if you've got a lot of games on the PlayStation system and the PlayStation Network. Those are probably all situations where the Backbone is going to be a really good option for you. That being said, I personally still prefer the Switch for my personal use case. I don't see a need to own both because I did think about it. I said, if you love it, you just get another one of these. I don't need it. I do hope my husband gets more use out of this. I'm actually gonna want to invest a little bit more time myself so I can give follow-up thoughts, because again, I do kind of feel like maybe I'm leaning to the Switch more because I've already owned it longer and it holds a special place in my heart, but I want to give Backbone a little bit more of a chance. But for right now, I do recommend it. But if you have the option to get both, I am going to recommend the Switch because that is my preference. I like having a dedicated piece of equipment for games. Okay, let me know what your thoughts are. If you've got a really good recommendation or use case for the Backbone, I'd like to hear it. And that's all for now. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. See you next time.